Hello, my name is Harry Wilkinson, and I teach drum lessons at Forks Drum Closet. And I also help people with their xylophone and marimba skills on their initial levels, learning the scales and arpeggios and sight reading fundamental songs. I'd like to talk to you about the C scale today and a few important scales. There are many scales to learn, but I want to talk to you about the ones that are in the method books that Metropolitan Nashville schools use primarily. The first one we're going to talk about today is the key of C. On the key of C, we stay on what would be the white keys of the piano. The black keys on the piano would be up here. Okay? These are called accidentals, or the sharps and the flats. I'm going to play a very slow C scale for you. The C note can be found to the left of each group of two black notes on the piano, and they're not black here, as you can see, they're all the same color. So the way we know where we're starting on the marimba or the xylophone is that to the left of every group of two, the note is always a C. Up here, we go 8 tones up. We have another C, and you notice it's once again to the left of our two accidentals, okay? We go on up again, and we have another C, and once again, you know it's a C because it's to the left of the two notes up that are on the top that are called accidentals. Okay, and then at the very top, we have our top C, okay? So this instrument is 4 octaves of C, okay? Now, I'm going to play very slowly and do the C scale for you. And it's very easy because all we do is go from one C to another C. At first, I'll do 1 octave, and then I will do 2 octaves. So I'm going to go now. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. I just did that backwards. I was going to say I was going to play 1 octave, but I'll play 2. Now I'll do 1 octave. Okay. Oh, I wasn't looking and I missed there. I'm going to try to do it for 2 octaves a little more quick for you. So it's like do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Okay, so that's C to C. We just go from one C to another C. It's very easy. Okay, now the next group of notes I'd like to speak to you about, or the next scale I'd like to speak to you about, is the key of F. F can be found on the keyboard always to the left of 3 notes. That reminds me of something from a famous piece, but I can't remember what it is. At any rate, you can always find your F by looking to the left of the groups of 3s that are the accidentals. Now, when we go from F to F, it doesn't work to be do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do because we must flatten the B. I'm going to do it without the flat in it. Okay? When we do it that way, we don't allow for the whole step, half, whole step, half way of learning the keyboard. I used to have a lot of trouble remembering that myself. But when we do the F major scale, we're going to have 1 flat, and that is B flat. There are many rules or theory suggestions that I'll talk to you about if you come to my studio and we go through the cycle of fourths and the cycle of fifths relating to flats and sharps. I just want on this lesson to show you some of the primary scales that are important in intermediate band and beginning band. Now, this time I'm going to play the F major scale, and I'm going to play a B flat instead of a B natural. Once again, it sounds like do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Okay, now I'm going to do the F major scale for 2 octaves. Okay, so remember that the F major scale has 1 flat. The flat it is B flat. I'm going to do it starting lower down here so you can hear how it sounds. So now we have two scales, the C and the F. The next key I'd like to talk to you about today is the B flat scale. Now B flat has 2 flats. I want you to remember they are B flat and E flat. There are rules for theory for the flats and the sharp notes that I will explain to you in the future in detail. But right now, I just want you to remember these important keys. The key of B flat has 2 flats. They are B and E flat. B flat and E flat. Okay, now I'm going to play it for 2 octaves. B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G, A, B flat, B flat, F, E flat, D, C, D, A, G, F, E flat, D, C. Now I'll try to do it a little quicker. Try it one more time. Okay, that's the B flat scale. Remember that it has 2 flats, B flat and E flat. Just like you remember that the red light means stop, the green light means go. It's not any harder than that. Next, I'd like to talk to you about the E flat scale. I want you to remember that E flat has 3 flats. They are E flat, A flat, and B flat. In my method book, I have dots on the keyboard illustrating how the patterns work in the keyboard. Once you can see the movements and see the patterns, it takes the fear of hitting the wrong note out a little bit. So once again, remember that E flat has 3 flats. They are E flat, B flat, and A flat. Or I should say them, the other order would be B flat, E flat, and A flat. Okay, I'm going to do the E flat scale once more for 1 octave. Now for 2 octaves. Okay, that's E flat. All right. Now, the next one we're going to talk about is A flat. A flat has 4 flats. They are B flat, E flat, A flat, and D flat. Okay? Just remember that A flat has 4 flats. Okay? That's the A flat scale, starting lower. Now I'll spell them out this time. A flat, B flat, C, D flat, E flat, F, G, A flat, B flat, C, D flat, E flat, F, G, A flat. One of the funny things about playing the marimba is that I have several of them, and one of them is wider than this one. I have an older marimba that's made out of rosewood. This one's made out of a nylon called Kelon, and the bars are a little thinner. So one must adjust to the xylophone, the bells, and the marimba. Sometimes you have to take a moment just to get comfortable with the instrument you're working on. One more A flat scale, and remember the flats in A flat are B flat, E flat, A flat, and D flat. Okay? So here we go. How do we find the A flat? We're going to start on C and go C, B, A. So the note to the left of the A will always be A flat. Okay? Now I'm going to try it for you. A flat, B flat, C. That's A flat. Okay? Now, there are also keys where the notes are called sharps. And the ones that I've noticed in the Metropolitan Nashville Method books and some of the songs I've helped kids with over the years, one of the primary ones is the key of G. Now, G can be easily found because it's right next to the F in the alphabet. F, G. Okay. Now, I want you to remember this simple thing. G has one sharp, and it is F sharp. Okay? Now I'm going to start on the key of G, and if I go from G to G, like the C scale, we're going to have a little problem with our seventh tone. Okay? It should be a F sharp, and it would be a F natural if we go from G to G. Okay? So we have to sharpen the F, to make it work properly. I'll call them out this time. G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, G, F sharp, E, D, C, B, A, G. I'll try to do it for 2 octaves now. F sharp, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, G, F sharp, E, D, C, B, G, F sharp, E, D, C, B. Okay, so the key of G has one sharp. It is the F sharp, okay? Just simply remember that. And I'll teach you the rules later on about the circle of fourths and the circle of fifths. The circle of fifths applies to the sharps. The circle of fourths applies to the flats. The next key that's very important is the key of D. I want you to simply remember that the key of D has 2 sharps. They are F sharp and C sharp. The scale is spelled like this: D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D, D, C sharp, B, A, G, F sharp, E, D. I'll do it for 2 octaves now. faster. When I was growing up, I had the good fortune to grow up with Benny Wallace, who is one of the world's top saxophone players. He lives out of New York City and writes music for movies and does his own jazz albums. And Benny told me a story a few years ago about how he took a flute lesson with a flautist with the New York Philharmonic. And the gentleman told him, never make a mistake when you practice. And that sounds crazy. But what he meant was go so slow you know what you're going to do next. And that's why I'm going rather slow today. The scale of D has two sharps. They are F sharp and C sharp. Okay? Now, moving on to the key of A. Once again, I want you to remember that A has three sharps. They are F sharp, C sharp, and G sharp. A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A. Okay? All right, I almost messed that one up, but I got there. Okay, that's pretty much the scales you need to know to do a lot of the primary and intermediate work in middle school band here in the Nashville, Tennessee area. So as I've previously mentioned, there's something called the circle of fourths, where we take the key of C and it applies to the flats. We go up to 4 notes, C, D, E, F. That F is the first note in our circle of fourths using the flat key B. So, as I told you previously, F has one flat and it is B. We're going to play F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E, F. F, E, D, C, B flat, A, G, F. Okay? So I used the circle of fourths to go from C to F. C, D, E, F. Aha! There's my first key that has one flat. And that key, once again, is F. F has one flat that is B. Now, so I go up 4 tones, F, G, A, B flat, and that is the beginning of our key that has 2 flats, and that will be B flat, which I previously told you has 2 flats, and they are B flat and E. So now I'm going to go, once again, to get to the B flat, I'm going to go F, G, A, F, B, sorry, F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E. Okay, so the circle of fourths goes from F to B flat. And that tells us, aha, our next key has 2 flats. Okay, and those flats are B and E flat. Okay, that's a brief explanation of the rules of the circle of fourths. Now, with the circle of fifths, we would start on the C, C, D, E, F, G. So G is going to be our first scale that has 1 sharp. The F sharp. Remember I told you to try to remember that and write these things down as I'm telling you. Okay, and then it would continue G, B, C, D, G, A, B, C, D. So D would be our scale that has 2 sharps, and those are F sharp and C sharp. So it goes on and on and on like that. Now, many music educators will talk about the scales being whole step, half, whole step, whole step, whole step, half. That used to confuse me. But what that means is from C to D is a whole step. C to D. D to E is a whole step. D to E. But E to F is a half step. We do not have an accidental in between there. See the hole in the keyboard? C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Now these rules are important, and I do expect you to learn them as time goes by. But that's why I'm giving you these simple explanations of the important keys that you're going to encounter initially. So once again, the circle of fourths is set up for the flat keys. So to find the first key that has flats in it, I would start on the C and go up 4 tones. 1, 2, 3, 4. Aha, I'm on the F. So using the whole step, half system, we're going to be F, G, A, half step to the B flat, whole step to the C, whole step to the D, whole step to the E, and a half step to the F. Okay? This is why I want you to simply learn a few rules and a few scales rather than every scale. We can often teach a system where we say whole step, half, whole step, half step to teach any key. If I'm in the key of G flat, or it could also be F sharp. That's a key you're not going to use a great deal of. But once again, it's very important to take things 2 measures at a time, master those 2 measures, master the next 2 measures, then play 4 measures consecutively. And when you run into a song that has a little difficult part, something like that, just play it over and over 4 times, and you'll be surprised. You might do well the first time, screw it up the second time, do well the third, and get it right on the fourth. When I have problems learning hard songs, I write the music out in my own handwriting on poster boards, and I'll just go over a section of 3 to 4 measures over and over and over. I'll take 4 measures and do it 8 times. Some of them will be good, some of them will be sloppy, but as time goes by, my motor mechanisms and my muscles kick in and they remember things like that. Or like Prince's Pauper that I played for you earlier. So listen to your band directors, learn your scales, and learn your important scales for the Mallet keyboards, which once again are C, F, B flat, E flat, A flat, and then in the sharps, the important scales are G, D, and A. There's not a lot of repertoire written on other keys in your elementary to intermediate books. We will learn them all, and I hope you'll come by to see me at Forks Drum Closet and check out my method book that I've written to hopefully make the keyboard entry fun by playing real music and not just nursery rhymes like row, row, row your boat. So thanks a lot for listening, and please come by Forks Drum Closet and check out my method book for marimba, xylophone, and bells. Good luck to you.